Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Ayu Utami. Today, I was given the opportunity to teach about arithmetic operation on fraction. Before getting to know the arithmetic operation on fraction, let us recall what fractions themselves mean. What is fraction? In mathematics, a fraction is a number that represents a part of a whole. It consists of a numerator and denominator. The numerator represents the number of equal parts of a whole, while the denominator in the total number of parts that make up side whole. Note a fraction a over b for b not equals 0, and b is denominator. For the example, a fraction 3 over 8. 3 is numerator and 8 is denominator. As another example, one watermelon is divided into two equal parts, so each part is 1/2. One watermelon. If this picture watermelon, so next, if this picture watermelon, so one watermelon is divided into two equal parts, so each part is 1/2. And next, if one watermelon is divided into 4 equal parts, so each part is 1/4. For the picture, next, I will explain about addition. Unlike adding and subtracting integers such as 2 and 8, fractions require a common denominator to undergo their operations. One method for finding a common denominator involves multiplying the numerator and denominator of all of the fractions involved by the product of the denominator of each fraction. Multiplying all of the denominator ensures that the new denominator is certain to be a multiple of each individual denominator. The denominator also needs to be multiplied by the appropriate factor to preserve the value of the fraction as a whole. This is arguably the simplest way to ensure that the fractions have a common denominator. However, in most cases, the solution to their equation will not appear in simplified form. Below is an example using this method. A over B plus C over D equals A times D over B times D plus C times D over D times equals AD plus BC over BD. For the example, 3 over 4 plus 1 over 6 equals 3 times 6 over 4 times 6, 1 times 4, 6 times 4, 22 over 24, 11 over 12. I will explain about subtraction. Second, about subtraction. Fraction subtraction is essentially the same as fractions additions. A common denominator is required for the operation to occur. Revert to the addition section as well as the equations below for the clarification. Over D C over D equals A times D over B times D minus C times D over D times B equals AD minus over BD. For the example, 3 over 4 minus 1 over 6 equals 3 times 6 over 4 times 6 minus 1 times 4 over 6 times 4. 40 over 24. 7 over 12. Next, I will explain about multiplication. Multiplying fraction is very straightforward. Unlike adding and subtracting, it is not necessary to compute a common denominator in order to multiply fractions. Simple. The numerator and the denominator of each fraction are multiplied, and the result from a new numerator and a denominator. If possible, the solution should be simplified. Refer to the question below for clarification. Over D times C over D equals C over BD. For the example, 3 over 4 times 1 over 6 equals 1 equals 3, and 4 times 3 equals 24 equals 1. Next, I will explain about division. The process for dividing fraction is similar to that for multiplying fractions. In order to divide fraction, the fraction in the numerator is multiplied by the reciprocal of a number, simply 1 over A. A is a fraction. This essentially involves exchanging the position of the numerator and the denominator. Reciprocal of the fraction 3 over 4 will therefore be 4 over 3. The equation below for clarification divided by C over D equals A over D times D over C. The result of A over D times D over C is A D over BC. Example, 1 over 4 divided by 2 over 5 equals 1 over 4 times 5 over 2. The result of 1 over 4 times 5 over 2 is 5 over 8. Only this is an explanation of the material about arithmetic operation on fractions. If there are deficiencies, In this video, I apologize. Hopefully this is as full for all of us. Enjoy the video. See you again in the next explain. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.